It's the New Jersey Nets and the Atlanta Hawks in their second meeting of the season. This one takes place in the state of Georgia. We're at Atlanta, at the Omni, and welcome to New Jersey Nets basketball. Spencer Ross along with Bill Raftery. Happy to have you all with us now. You're here. And for the Nets coming down to Atlanta, beating the Hawks their last time out by an 87-81 count without Derek Coleman. This is a big ball game for the Nets and a big ball game for Atlanta, too.
You get the feeling there's a lot of confidence with the Nets. I mean, it seems like they feel pretty good about themselves. The coaches think they've got some things. I just have to look at the turnovers. Around 15 a game. Pretty solid use of the basketball. Chuck feels the defense has improved, and the bench has stepped up in their contributions. And, yes, Atlanta would remember that little trip during the holidays to New Jersey, and they are, as well, playing great defense and tough to beat, because they balance the floor, and it's sort of a trademark of Lenny Wilkens.
25-9 in the season. The defensive aspect, really, I think the key to this Atlanta basketball team. We discussed it with Chuck Daly. This is a team that's given up about 12 points less a game this year, and that is a tribute to Lenny Wilkens and the work ethic that this team is utilizing.
Also, if you're not running the floor a whole lot, you're not making the turnovers, obviously. You're not in a transition game. It's more of a half court, so the point total will come down. So that plus the defense giving them good opportunity.
And, of course, Mookie Blaylock in the backcourt, teamed with Stacey Augmon, and a great matchup tonight between the kid, Kenny Anderson, and Mookie Blaylock, now in his second full season with the Atlanta Hawks.
The Mookster and the Hoopster. The kid from Queens, right about 10, as well as Mook, giving the ball up, giving of themselves, and making big shots when needed. And, of course, Kenny coming home, it's a reunion of sorts. Seen a lot of Georgia Tech people here. They love them. New York loves them. And Mookie's found a home. And we had a chance to talk to Dominique about Mookie earlier, and it just feels he loves playing with them. He's giving it up. And the thing at the point position, I think, is containing one another. So you just want to at least have the same numbers and make sure you get others involved. That's why they've both done so well.
And as far as Atlanta's concerned, their last game here, a couple of nights ago, that's really a kind of a downer game when you're losing a three-pointer after giving up the basketball when you never should have given it up with 3 seconds to go.
Well, they had control of the game. You wanted to say to Kevin Wallace, how about taking the ball out of bounds?
Call time.
Well, it's an interesting thing. Latrell Sprewell ends up making a big shot, but those are things that help you at the end of the year. They improve you. We've seen the Nets do some things at the end of the game that are better, and earlier in the year you were a little bit concerned, but it's part of learning as a group, and that's what Chuck has done best for this team.
And as far as the Nets are concerned, 3 in a row, yes, but tomorrow night, Golden State comes to town, and then Chuck Daly is going to take the troop out to the West Coast, Portland, Seattle, and Golden State. These next 5 games could really let everybody know just what's going to happen with the Nets this season.
And you get the feeling, and you know Chuck, he's starting to talk about what a horrendous stretch we have. I mean, he's starting to be on a downer, which is generally a good sign for the Nets.
Okay, and a little bit earlier, Bill had an opportunity to talk to the man, perhaps the man the Nets have to contain the most on this Atlanta Hawk basketball team. We're talking about Dominique Wilkens.
October 30th, 1982, the first home game of a slim Dominique Wilkens. And Neek, you could do it then, you're still doing it.
Man, that looks funny, man. Just look at those old highlights there. You know, now I finger rolls those kind of shots.
I don't think I got some help here, a little assistance from Adam Keefe rolling my coat up, but you could soar then, you're still doing it.
Well, you know, I keep telling people I haven't aged that much. You know, I just got a little wiser.
Smarter, and you're still quick, but a little more developed, I'd say.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit more developed. You know, people look at me like I'm crazy sometimes when I tell them, you know, I haven't lost any quickness, and then when they see it out there on the floor, you know, they have a change of opinion. So.
Of course, the weights now, too, something that has led to some more development.
Yeah, you know, this year I wanted to be a little bit heavier, you know, so I can get down low and, you know, with the big guys a little more. But overall, I stay pretty slim, you know, all year round.
Last night I was in town a little bit early and had a chance to do a radio show with Stacey Augmon, and as you know, a great asset to this club. But he was talking about how much you have taught him, either directly or indirectly, and the leadership mantle that you've assumed is probably why this club's doing so well.
Well, you know, the thing I try to do with younger guys is try to set an example, show them things that they could be doing and things not to do on the floor, because I had great teachers when I came to the league, like Tree Rollins, Danny Roundfield, guys like that really taught me the game. So I just try to pass, you know, some of the knowledge on.
Now, there weren't any rumors today, so we don't expect you to get 40 points against the Nets, but in some way, with all the speculation, do you reach back a little more?
Oh, I love it. I love it. You know, just showing what they might miss.
You don't want to leave here, though.
No, I love Atlanta. I really would like to, you know, end my career here, but, you know, it don't look like at this point, you know, that's that promising. But it's not saying that I won't be here. But, you know, usually in this situation, guys of my caliber who's still playing this well seems to pretty much take care of the guys. But, you know, I don't worry about it. I just keep coming out and playing.
Financially, you're in good shape, though. You don't need more, do you?
Well, you always could use a little more. I'm not even going to sit here and say that. but it would be nice if they could take care of me now. I won't have to, you know, second guess or worry about where I'm going to be at the season. I'm going to be somewhere. You know, it might not be here, but somewhere.
I have a feeling Lenny Wilkens will want you here. He's lent so much to this program right now. I mean, defensively, people talk about it, but just his overall presence.
Well, he's a teacher, a very good teacher of the game. He makes guys understand their roles. He defines your role, and he expects you to come out and play it. And that's really as simple as it gets.
And, of course, Mookie's addition, too. You love playing with him, don't you?
Mookie's a great full old lady. He's probably one of the best point guards I've ever played with. He's definitely a great point guard.
We really appreciate you coming out. You're an all-star, and both on and off the floor. And I wish you get all the money in the world. We're rooting for you, Dick. Okay, we're back with more after these words.
Talked about the good record of the Atlanta Hawks, and you see it right here as we check out the standings, courtesy of Payne Weber. And the Knickerbockers out in front in the Atlantic with a record of 26 up and 9 down, but you move down, and the Nets sitting in 4th place right now, 16 and 20, just half a game behind Miami. And over in that Central Division, you see the Atlanta Hawks at 25 and 9, a game up on the red-hot Chicago Bulls, who, interestingly enough, at this stage of the season, without Michael Jordan, are just a game behind last year's ball club. I think really that is a tribute to one man, and I'm talking about that gangly forward that Red Holtzman found and brought to the Knickerbockers many years ago. What's that kid's name? Phil Jackson?
Philly
Jackson. Pretty good job he is doing
the Dakotas
with that basketball team. Let's check out the Continental Airlines starting matchups tonight. Derek Coleman matched up against Kevin Wilkins, and of course the big job that Chris Morris has going up against Neek. Dominique Wilkins. Benjamin against Concact. Kevin Edwards against the very tenacious Stacey Augmon. While Kenny Anderson matched up against Mookie Blaylock. Those are the Continental Airlines starting matchup. Our referees tonight, Hugh Evans, Ronnie Nunn, and Mike Callahan. And we are set now. Ronnie Nunn will toss it up. Product of Brooklyn Tech High School in Brooklyn, New York.
and George Washington.
He was a pretty good player, Ronnie.
Very good. Heavily recruited. And a little test for the Nets this evening, Spencer.
It's a very good basketball team. On the back tip, Kenny Anderson able to keep it in play. In that game against Golden State, we alluded to the fact that the Hawks really blew it down the stretch. 3 seconds to go. They have the ball. Kevin Willis inbounding. They're up by 2. And Willis finally inbounds it instead of calling a timeout. And Dominique gets caught, and they turn the ball over, and Sprewell hits a three-pointer to win the game at the buzzer. That's a hurter, boys.
And a pretty good look that time by Benoit as well. Got to make open shots.
There's Dominique to Mookie. 10 on the 24. Mookie looking once again in deep to Dominique on the post-up.
See the double up from the center and cause the cross court.
And DC with a steal. Good anticipation. Anderson, Stacey Augmon on the D now. Coleman rolls off. Kenny recognizes and puts it home. Pretty move.
You mentioned earlier in the year how strong he's gotten. A nice play by Mo, but he gets it. I was thinking Mo and Wilkins down in a box. Can you get more athletic than those two? But did you notice this time on the offensive end, Coleman didn't bounce and cause some delay. He gave it to Kenny, got himself in position. He rolled and it sort of froze the defense for Kenny to hang and bang that one down.
And Kenny had his eye on him all the way. He saw Derek roll off. As Derek was free, he was going to get him the basketball. And here is Dominique Wilkins.
The trade rumor emanating earlier in the week. Nick addressed that on the beginning of our show here. Would like to be here. It sounds like a marketing whiz. But if the price is
He
right,
brought you along, right?
finance guy.
That's right. You told him, get all the money you can get.
I didn't say that. I said, I hope you do.
Oh, hope you do. Okay.
I don't want calls from the front office here. Stan Kasten to be all over me.
Contact with the rebound. Here's Ogden.
Nice play by, it's a double tick. And Hugh
Yeah, no.
Evans doesn't agree.
Nope. It'll still be Atlanta ball. Just underway. We played 1 minute and 13 seconds of this first quarter. And Dominique Wilkins will inbound the basketball.
And Kevin Edwards will be he's being played by Stacey Augmon, who's gotten a little offense in his game now. Able to make the outside shot. Still not a constant three-point shooter.
It's Wilkins for three. Who's going to get the rebound? Nobody went for it. You got to move to the basketball off the weak side.
Oh, got to react a little. You only rebound when it comes to you. That's not basketball.
Very slow. Here's contact. Morris with the rebound. So the Nets come out of that unscathed. Anderson challenges contact. Shot won't go. Kevin Willis with the rebound. Gets it to Brookie. Great one bounce to Willis.
And a little double chug. Usually if you miss in that open floor, when Kenny give up empty, it flows the other way quickly. And this club can leak out over the years.
And what a pretty pass by Brookie. A one bouncer, a 50-foot one bouncer. Here's Kevin Edwards. Perfect spot up. The rebound comes down to Willis. Gets it out over to Blaylock. A good lead pass to Wilkins.
And he knew, so
And Benjamin will pick up the foul.
they may give it to Kenny. I don't know.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, on the spin, he knew right away he had the size, but Mook with a stick hitter. Nice looking catchable bounce pass off the dribble, and Dominique said maybe the best point guard I've played with, and
Interesting, huh?
you can see why. And right at 10, 9.9 assists, Mookie on the money.
Wilkins with his 4th point now. Doc Rivers, of course, had some pretty nice years here. Glenn back home now, recuperating from the surgery.
One of the great people, too.
Yeah.
High-class guy. I've heard him on the air, too. You better watch out.
I think he wants your job.
Yeah.
Whatever. He'll take whichever one. Here's Edwards putting it home. Kevin with his first deuce. 9.5 left in this first quarter. In fact, on Monday night, there's contact all along.
You notice that double, and nobody moved. You're going to zone up. You got to zone up in the 3-second lane.
Great charity event. Speaking of Glenn Rivers, recuperating, taking place at Mickey Mantle's restaurant on Monday night that Glenn's involved with.
Oh, is it?
And he's being honored on Monday night.
A very
For a good
charitable guy throughout his career. Nice beating to the spot by Neek.
Wilkins with a good look away to Stacey Augmon, who puts it home. And the Hawks are on a roll here. Stacey Augmon comes up with his first two, and they lead it 9-4. And a 20-second timeout called by Chuck Daly.
You know what surprised me looking at the numbers? Neek only has 2 assists a game. That was a very unselfish look.
Yeah.
He's usually the recipient of a gracious tender.
It was nice. It was a good look away too. You know, sometimes look aways from 50 feet away don't work. That one worked very beautifully.
You got guys running the floor, and here's the double up, and you'll just see nobody recovers. Durrick, the nearest guy, he's on the foul line, but the weak side man has to come in and zone it up as well. You can't give those open layup opportunities. There's no sense rotating.
9-4 lead for the Hawks, who again have won 17, lost only twice here at home. And they've beaten the Nets 16 of the last 17 times here in Atlanta. So this is a big, big sure.
That jumps out again at
17-2.
8-7 on the road.
Had that 14-game winning streak earlier in the season.
And no Jason Williams to go to.
That's going to hurt, too, because he has been such a night after night. That 15, 20 minutes Jason gets. And the Nets victory over Atlanta, he had 11 rebounds, 7 off the offensive board.
No more of his lips this evening, huh? He took some shot, he said. There's a post up. Nets with good looks. Empty.
Said he got a warning for breathe. He said if his nose was stuffed up, he might have suffocated. He couldn't open his mouth. His lips were stuck together.
And as you know, as Mookie sees it up big, he loves to talk, so it is a problem.
Oh, yeah. 8:25 left first quarter. Nets off to a slow start. Trail at 9-4. Kenny Fowl going through the lane.
Blow by and experience. Complete confidence exuding from that young guy. He feels he can do it against anybody right now.
And right now he is. doing it against just about anybody and everybody. 8:20 left in this first quarter.
Pretty.
Coleman, great look to Benoit, who slams it home.
The
And when I
high
say
percentage.
slam, he slammed it home. It's still rocking.
He may take some of that extra clockage out, but here's the give back, and as noted during his career, Derek does find some people. Very unselfish guy.
9-6 ball game. Atlanta by 3. Wilkins looking to make it 5 with an in and out of it, tipped in by Willis.
Got to put a body on.
That's 3 or 4 baskets on that mistake for Atlanta. The contact basket. This one.
You sound like a coach in a timeout. Fellas, you're killing us.
Kenny Anderson fires. That's a 3 for the kid. He's got 5, and the net's back in it. Down now 11-9.
And he's up to 33% from 3.
Mookie.
Good help by Derek.
That's a 3-point attempt. And he gets it right back. 8 quick points for Dominique Wilkins. And Atlanta leads it now 13-9. They give him only a 2 on that. I thought they had given him a 3. It is a 2. 7 for Wilkins.
But they got to come and help. I don't think they can play him alone.
Count it, and 1 as Coleman puts it home. And the foul will go against Kevin Willis. And the double up was just a wee bit late and weak.
If you're going to come big, come strong, and contact over to assist after the play was made.
So here is Derek, who missed the first game between these two teams. He was out with a gastroenteritis, tummy problems,
Press
3
room.
points,
Bill of fare will cause that.
13-12.
Not at the Meadowlands, I might add.
No, not at the Meadowlands.
Nice job by Kevin keeping his ground. Look at the help, too.
Would have counted had it gone.
Benoit, if it's on him, no, it's on Kevin, but nice help by Benoit. I mean, just didn't quite get it. A little drop step by the lefty to the baseline and causing the miss. Now, if Kevin doesn't foul, they might be off and running, although a little lack of a weak side check out there.
Yeah. Stacey Ogman, a 78% free throw shooter. Defense, the key to his game, but as you said, he's picked up the numbers offensively, over 15 points a game.
Over
Contact
50,
the last touch.
and over 50% as well. Happened to do a radio show last night with Stacey Ogman. And Chuck popped in and had a few comments on how good his defense is and how his offense has improved. And you should have seen Ogman listening to such a great attention, about championships and what it takes. And Mo's got Benoit, and they don't opt to go to him.
Coleman has to fire with 3 on the 24, and the rebound Willis, and a long lead to Stacey Ogman, and Coleman with a block for the foul.
Pretty good hustle.
As you pointed out, though, you've got to find the big guy when you've got the mismatch, and that time the Nets missed an opportunity.
Let him touch it, right?
Yep.
Get it in, let him do some damage. The good leak out, and Derek back on the Modell scoreboard.
Back here at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia, let's check out the NBA leaders, brought to you by your Tri-State GMC truck dealers. Talking about steals and Mookie Blaylock. Do you see him sitting 3rd overall in the NBA? A little more than 2.5 a ball game. Another aspect of Mookie's game, which is such a positive.
Some nice names up there, huh?
Yeah. Phillips, Pippen,
McMillan.
Kenny Hardaway.
They mentioned Stockton when Utah was in. Kenny's scratching around with some steals, too.
Yeah.
Gets over 2 a game. His line is impressive. Almost 40 minutes. Almost 5 rebounds. Almost 10 assists. Over 2 steals. And 3 turnovers. All he handles the basketball. Impressive.
Shooting almost 80% from the free throw line.
And they switch now, so Dominique on the crisscross ends up with Kevin Edwards.
That's looking to go to Benoit. You said, got to get the ball to the big guy, and you got him on the blocks, and he puts it home.
He's got power, and I don't think contact can contain him. Wheel and go to the tip.
We're tied at 14 after a slow start for the Nets. They battle back. Here's Willis on the double team now.
Good recovery now, getting back on contact.
And Willis puts it home.
He was working on that shot before the game. Did you see that?
He's one of the first guys out here, Kevin Willis, night after night, working on his shooting.
Tiny feet.
9.5. That's amazing. The guy, 7 feet tall.
My little guy has 10 and a half. He's 13, Billy.
Kenny Anderson with a drive, won't go, goes down, but no foul call. Oh, they're leaking out, and we'll get a foul.
Well, Kenny goes to the hole. It's
They go.
important for, obviously, Kevin Edwards, but the small forward, if Mo is in that position, and/or Derek, to get back. You don't score at one end, 9.5 feet, but doesn't hamper the vision. You noted the leak out, and right here, poised by Mo. And unfortunately, a little tag at the end.
And Mo will sit down with his second foul. And P.J. Brown will come into the lineup to take his place. So Chris Morris, early foul trouble, has him sitting now. And Wilkins with 8 points. 2 on Mo. Kevin Willis with 7 rebounds already in this first quarter.
He's one of those Rodman-esque types. You know, he's got obviously much more offense and the ability to ring a bell at 18 a game, but he can go and get some boards for you.
He's already taken more shots than Rodman takes in a week.
Taking more layups. I think it's out early.
Coleman with a rebound, controls and puts it home. 5 points for D.C., and the Nets within 2, 18-16.
You can see the strength then, huh, on Willis. D.C., look at this guy.
Oh, he walked.
All right, they
Yep,
call
they
it.
got it.
Well, Mike Callahan on top of it.
You know, Billy, despite the fact that Nets are within 2, they really haven't gotten a rhythm yet. I don't feel they have.
Here's a offensive rebounding position because of his size and bulk and able to finish. But Callahan with the walk. Now, a lot of people ridicule the NBA players for walking. Refs will call it. I mean, that's an obvious one. I mean, occasionally will slide down in here.
Benoit again, and he puts it home.
BB.
3 baskets for Benjamin, 6 points. We're tied at 18 with 4:45 left in this first quarter.
Now, there's certain teams he can score against. This is one of them, I think. Lang would be the counter center who does block some shots. But Konkak actually has more off the wrong foot.
Yeah, don't see that too often. Mookie puts it home his first 2. And the Nets down a deuce now. 4:20 left in this first quarter.
Konkak gets 1-3 a game. Lang 1-1. And you would think if I asked you that Lang is nice little penetration by Kevin, huh?
That's a pretty strong move, too.
Very good. Of course, they're going to play him for the jumper. But if I asked you who's a better blocker of shots or who has more.
Say Lang.
Yeah. They come big, and now you got to recover, Benoit.
Benoit gets back on Konkak. Here's Augman. Wilkins for 3. Another offensive rebound, but out of bounds. It'll go over to the Nets.
You know how quick he is to the ball, Spencer?
You know, when you miss, though, you know you miss it. And you know where it's
You're the
going.
first guy. You're right.
But he is quick to the ball.
And there's a guy who's been quick to the ball himself.
What a career he's had.
Marvelous.
One of Chuck's assistants in Barcelona with the Dream Team.
Trying to post up PJ.
Kenny Anderson, he's free, and puts it home.
I thought Wilkins distracted him, but he hung up, moved it a little, and then stroked it.
That's up by 2. Mookie looking for the tie. That's a 3-pointer for Mookie Blaylock. He's got 5. That's his 46th 3-pointer of the season, hitting over 34%. And the Hawks back out in front, 23-22.
Well, he wanted the playing time, and that's why he's here.
Good foul by Kenny.
Burying the backcourt. Another case of everybody getting down the floor. Augman's got long strides. You know what Neat can do. So they do kick it out and explode.
It's a good foul, but the negative in this respect, it's Anderson second, and the Nets are also over the limit. So Anderson and Morris both sit down. And David Wesley comes into the lineup.
And not a bad time in a sense for Kenny to take a blow. He's got this 3 in between quarters, and also Wesley off a good performance, solid chance to get that experience. It's necessary as you get closer to crunch time.
Yeah, his confidence growing. Had a physical game last week in the Cleveland game. That's where he really had a problem, where they really attacked him and turned the ball over 4 times in like 2.5 minutes.
Well,
but since he's come back, he's come back since then.
Well, you bring up bad memories, don't you?
I'm talking reality, Raftery.
This is now.
Well, it's the growing pains of a rookie. Edwards puts it home. On the feed from David Wesley, the other kid.
Baylor? They are starting with Baylor, by the way. His alma mater. And look at this rotation. They almost come up with a steal on it.
Craig Elo in the lineup now. He'll fire for three, and he can bury it.
He
That's
knew
a
he had
two-pointer.
Benoit on him, and Benoit had to give ground out of respect for the blow-by ability.
It's a two-pointer for Elo, 27-24. Atlanta with the lead. 2.5 left in this first quarter.
Little flex kind of a cut, screened by Benoit. Let's see if you can take this guy in contact.
Edwards is open on the feed from David Wesley.
Good ball movement. First Benoit, Wesley, and then Edwards on the money.
Kevin 4 of 6 from the floor in this first quarter, and the Nets again down 1. Kevin went for the steal. Good recovery. Mookie for 3 on the rebound. Great one by Coleman, who was taken down, and it's stolen away by Elo, who fired. Whoa. Big three-pointer for Craig Elo right there.
5-point turnaround.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to eat the ball.
And Chuck Daly wants a timeout in Atlanta. On the Modell scoreboard has increased its lead to 4. Elo's three-pointer making it 30-26. Back here at the Omni in Atlanta, let's take a look at our MCI long distance shot. Here's Coleman coming down with the rebound. Tied up by Elo, maybe a foul. Nevertheless, Elo has the basketball as we take a look at our MCI long distance shot. Craig Elo's 39th three-pointer of the season. He's 40% from three-point range. Ennis Watley, the 8-year pro from Alabama in the lineup now. So they have Elo, they have Watley, they have Willis, they have Contact, and Stacey Augmon. As Ricky Blaylock sits down along with Dominique Wilkins. David Wesley fires. On the rebound is Augmon. A minute 35 left in this first quarter. The Nets are down 4, 30-26. Tomorrow night back at the Meadowlands against the Golden State Warriors. Hope you can make it out for that one. Craig Elo.
Nice
What
job.
a difference he's made since coming in. 7 quick points.
He curled, and PJ trailed him. If he continues to curl, you got to slide that post screen. Too much of a distance. You don't want your long distance shot by Elo. In the frame was Derek Coleman on his knees trying to challenge the shot. And he made the mistake, turned it over, and you love to see that. Down on all fours.
Armin Gilliam will come into the lineup. He'll replace Benoit Benjamin, who leaves with 6 points. 3 of 4 from the floor. Atlanta on a 12-4 run to open up the 6-point lead.
And they hammer in, and it's a small lineup as well for the Hawks. So some pretty good offensive maneuvering.
DJ to Gilliam, who gets on the board. 0 for 8 in that net victory a couple of nights ago, and tonight he starts off
bring it up the bench. No, that's what history's about. You're right.
That's what history's about. Tonight he's 1 for 1.
That's better.
Contact. Watley with the rebound. Threw it away. Willis couldn't come up, but this is 3-on-2.
You know, I saw that note, and I figured, well, Spencer will use it, so I won't. The 0 for 8.
You have me as the Doom Master, huh?
You've been hanging around Chuck too often.
Mr. Nice Guy you are.
They don't double as he runs the clock down. Look at how close he got without assistance.
Can't do that. 7 points for Coleman. That's within 2 with 20 seconds left in the quarter. About a second left difference. So you see the clock not even.
We're going to go two-man play with Willis. Derek comes big, and they just don't get down.
And Augmon with a layup. 5 points for Stacey Augmon. And the Nets will get the final shot. We're down to 7 seconds. Coleman challenging Willis. Now the double up.
Good step through.
Got to put it up. Half a second. PJ won't go. Would not have counted. Came after the buzzer. So the Modell scoreboard has, after one, a high-scoring ball game thus far. Atlanta leads it by a score of 34-30. Now, before we start the second quarter, let's take a look at Reebok's Top 10 Boys High School Basketball Rating. In cooperation with the New York Daily News and the Newark Star-Ledger in New York City, Felipe Lopez's team, pretty good basketball team. With Rice High School, #1 in the country, I believe. And we're going to check New Jersey first. New Jersey. St. Anthony leads in New Jersey. Bobby Hurley's fine ball club. Here's Willis on the drive. And the rebound pulled down by Armin Gilliam.
Well, you forget how big Augman is, Spencer. Huh? Almost got that tip for a second guard. He presents some problems, and he will continue as his offense improves.
Gilliam has it knocked away. Elo picks it up. I don't know if he had it knocked away, just lost it himself. Elo with a long lead to Willis. This is Watley.
A little high pick and roll. Now, I heard Chuck in the timeout saying on that weak side, when we double, you got to jam it up and help out. And exactly what happened on a couple of passes. Remember, Concat got a layup because they didn't do it?
Yeah. Johnny Newman. Kevin Edwards picks up the foul. Johnny Newman set to come into the lineup. Andrew Lang set to come into the lineup for Atlanta. Kevin leaves.
And not a happy Kevin Edwards. He normally doesn't say much.
He's picked up 2 now. So 3 nets with 2 fouls. Lang replaces Contact. Edwards leaves. He's replaced by Johnny Newman.
Now you look at the scoreboard, and 12 free throws to 1 for the Nets. Part of the dilemma, I think. Although the Nets are shooting the jumper, particularly Kevin, extremely well.
And the Nets, this year in particular, have been a team that has gone to the basket with authority and has outshot its opposition from the line.
A little full court pressure. And you got to get somebody in the post area.
Wesley. Coleman will roll off and kicked up into the crowd. That'll be a fresh 24, says Ronnie Nunn.
Well, now the Nets know how they're going to play the pick and roll. They're going to double the basketball, so holes will be open. Durrick, if he is the picker, has to determine where to go, so David Wesley can find them.
Inbounds to Gilliam. Just underway here, second quarter. Spencer Ross, Bill Raftery with you from the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. Nets are down 6. Johnny Newman. And the rebound pulled down by Willis. Gets it out over to Augman. That's rebound number 8 for Kevin Willis.
And they put P.J. Brown on Augman just to keep him off that glass. He's been a problem.
Here's Ennis Watley. And he puts it home. Watley's first 2. Plays about 11 minutes a game.
Trying to pressure David Wesley as well. Nice little spot player for Mookie.
Yeah. Experience.
Look at that tug of war down the low post. Now they come. They come small.
6-0 run for Atlanta. Here's Wesley. David off the mark. And the ball will go over to the Hawks. And Dwayne Schintz is going to come into the lineup. Going to give Derek Coleman his first rest. DC leads with 7 points and 4 rebounds.
Nothing with the looks they're getting. Just converting.
Yeah.
And Schintz off a pretty good performance. Chuck complimented him for a good effort the other night against the Wolves.
There's some things with authority, with strength and power. There's no doubt he has the strength.
Tough match here. Got a pretty good little jump hook and turnaround jumper.
Elo, that's the 3. Offensive rebound. Augman with a floater won't go. Schintz has it knocked away, and it's taken down by Lang. This is a 3rd chance opportunity for the Hawks.
Nice.
That won't go, and a good block by P.J. Brown. Nets in the run.
Oh.
The lead to Johnny Newman. Puts it home, and a pretty feed from David Wesley.
Wesley seeing the floor, and Schintz heads up, spots as they get back in balance. The errant toss.
Johnny tried to do it again, and this time knocked away by Elo, and Augman gets it ahead to Watley.
Can't get a couple in a row. You
Yeah.
notice like that was a chance to get the adrenaline pumping. Again, the jump hook, only pushing him out far enough.
That's looking to run again. Here's P.J. Shot won't go. Tries to put it up again. Knocks it out of bounds. It'll still be net ball.
Great selection of shot, too. Unfortunately for PJ, couldn't knock it down, but went to the left hand. He is filling the lane, and the kid, Wesley, this time. The other kid.
Welcomes back in, and Stacey Augman will get his first rest. We'll also see Adam Keith, second-year man from Stanford.
I noticed you let me do all the talking with Adam. Got to hold off. What a break here for the Nets.
Simpsons can't put it home, though. And the rebound, Watley. The Hawks run to Elo. Willis.
Too many white shirts.
6 points for Willis. The Nets are down 8, 40-32, with 8.5 left in this first half of play.
Well, you can't put enough value on making the shot just to balance the floor. They haven't converted these. Here's a chance for three.
Counted and one.
Nice little move by the Hammer.
Second basket, and he'll send Gilliam to the line. So Keith comes in the lineup to replace Willis, who leads with 6 points and 8 rebounds.
And here's the little blitz again, only they don't go aggressively as Lang helped out with Watley, but experience here. You got the little rhythm forward, and the Hammer trying to knock it down. And Adam Keefe in the game was telling me he got a shot across the eye, and it really hurt him. He said, obviously, you don't need any damage in that area. But just how physical the league is, he was saying. And this is a brute type of basketball player.
Pretty big kid, Adam Keefe out of Stanford, 6'9", 240 pounds.
You see the forearm?
Yeah.
Bill Walsh would have liked it.
Yeah, Bill Walsh would love to have him as a tight end. Here's Lang.
Gotta help.
Dominique with a floater. Pretty.
He sort of hangs and drifts back.
Yeah, it's tough to defend against. There's that Satchel Paige hesitation move.
And then you're on the bench saying, come on, you got to guard him.
Oh, really? 42-35. PJ posts up nicely. Marvin Gilliam, an in and outer.
Good
PJ,
hustle.
good hustle for the offensive. Rebound of the Deuce.
Stays after it. A multi-purpose basketball player.
And he'll be part of that all-star weekend playing for the rookie team. Quite an honor for P.J. Brown.
Nice job by Hammer, and they got the post up. Newman and Keith.
Keith backs his way in. Newman picks up the foul. Johnny's got one of those incredulous looks on his face, as if to say, I think the man tried to step over me.
And Keith was telling me he plays Elo before every game, and it's the difference in their score is 1 for the season. That's pretty impressive. He said he plays outside with him, and when it gets to crunch time and he has a chance to win, he brings Elo down low. Nice play by the Hammer, and a break too, huh? As they say, Keith knocked it out.
Lukey's going to come back in. Ennis Watley will leave. Nets are down 5. They're hanging in, despite the fact.
Kenny resting, you're thinking?
Kenny's on the bench. Derek's on the bench.
Well, Chuck doesn't changes his clothes frequently.
2 or
but
3
not
times
his
a day.
style. Yeah, at least.
Good luck to PJ. Got a little touch pass and then lost the basketball. Wilkins to Blaylock.
Good job.
Good rebound.
Good strong check out by everybody.
Here's Wesley.
And Newman should have come all the way through. Nice
And the Hammer with a pretty left-handed move.
He started to make the move through, and it opened up lanes.
That's within 3, 6.5 remaining in the half.
A little hedge, and then recovery.
Nice crowd here.
They do. Now this club deserves with their start. And it's building. They're getting more and more.
Wilkins. Keith with a rebound. And Adam Keith, uncontested from the weak side, puts it home. His first 2, and the Hawks lead it by 5, 44-39. Jensen's with his first attempt. And the rebound, Lang. Good outlet to Elo. Pretty look to Keith.
Oh!
And Jensen with a block, but Dwayne got him with the body.
Great running on the floor by the big guy, though, huh? Got to get him down there.
5-point lead, Atlanta. Back here at the Omni, let's take a look at our Nestle sweet move of the game. And here it comes from one of the sweetest of them all, Dominique Wilkins. A little hesitation floater, one-hand runner.
He's got the waltz, huh?
Yep.
A little hesitation, and he usually comes down on the floor while he's still up in the stratosphere.
Chris Morris back in the lineup, so the Nets will go with Shensis at center. Morris and Gilliam up front. Kenny Anderson back in, along with Johnny Newman. And Adam Keefe at the line to shoot 2. Talked about Atlanta's defense last year. They gave up 108 points a game. This year down to 96.
12 you mentioned, huh? Big difference. And this fella in college looked like he had the makings of being one of those Not Dave DeBuscher quite, because he doesn't have that range, but that type of player.
Type of play, yeah.
Solid, give you good minutes.
He's in his second year now, and he is still a project.
Talked about Todd Lichty a little, just saying he's really had his problems recovering. Nice inside, outside. The kid is back.
9 points.
His second home.
That's right. Played a lot of basketball games here for Bobby Cremins and the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. Here's Mookie. Kenny with 9 points thus far. And Mookie with 9 points.
Well, that's one of those Matador deals. Kenny got hung up, and everybody else sort of waved.
47-41, a 6-point lead. Newman.
The Hammer always manages to get the ball in a good area. You notice?
And that's a good area.
Yeah, he just has a knack. Some do, some don't.
9 points for Gilliam. And the Nets within 3, 47-43.
And they hear Chuck hollering help. Nice play. Oh, they say a kick. Saying Kenny. Kenny saying he threw it off me.
Derek Coleman's going to come back into the lineup, replacing Dwayne Jinsis.
Here, Chuck, that's great.
Yeah.
You got to step up on on the guard and do something. That was that play maybe by Mookie earlier.
Constructive criticism.
And Lang with a chug by Newman, and Derek regains.
Over the top. Keith, he'll get the foul. Loose ball fouling at him, Keith. Only the second team foul on the Hawks. And Keith, that is his first personal. Kevin Willis is going to come back into the lineup, and Keith's going to sit down. So he's not getting many minutes.
A little moaning going on, too.
Yeah.
A lot of guys checking in with the officials. No, you mentioned 12. But make the most of them. That's what you got to prove. New coach, new system.
47-43 ball game. The Nets are down 4 with 4:18 left in this first half. And Elo anticipated beautifully. And puts it home on the assist for Mookie Blaylock.
Handle it well. And the Nets a little disorganized on this end on that last trip. End up with a soft pass around the perimeter. Got to snap it.
Yeah, 9 points for Elo. The turnover situation, we're talking about the improvement for the Nets tonight. 9 turnovers to 5 for Atlanta.
You know, if you went out there and drilled some of the guys, they got an offense to push by Newman. If you said, all right, fellas, I want you to fake the ball to your partner and then let him go backdoor and throw a bounce pass, they would laugh at you. But that's exactly the difficulty is they get the push off here on Newman that players have to do. They were taught that as youngsters, but they'll throw it across to the show. Defense overplays, back cut, throw that ball on the floor. I mean, we all were taught that. They were as well.
Fundamental works, the fundamental way that you learned back when you were a kid. Here's Wilkins firing a 2-pointer for Dominique Wilkins, who has 13.
And Spence, we talked about the turnovers. Nets valuing the ball much more at 15. 3 in the first quarter, and now up to 5, 8. So giving up some against a team that can be explosive.
Derek Coleman, way off the mark. Here's Mookie leading the break. Wilkins with a floater. That's Willis. Puts it up, no good, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
They are active, particularly Willis and Dominique. Dominique thought he should have had the foul, but not able to knock it down at the one end. The Nets in transition cannot identify a little bump by Newman, and this is where Neek thought he got hit, but look how quick to the ball, the elevation. And then the kiss by Willis.
9 rebounds.
But that happens when you're in that transition and can't get back in the proper angle and make sure and the proper guy. Lenny and Paul Silas were chiding one another as they entered the building, reminiscent from their old teammate in Warrior days, right? At Seattle. Yeah. Real great person right there. Very impressive individual, no matter what area he's talking about.
Knows his game of basketball. 52-43 to Atlanta by 9 now.
Son up
in a little bit of a funk.
Son up at Brown. His daughter graduated from Georgetown. Priorities. Youngster.
Another turnover.
He'll be playing too. Playing this year. Will probably start next year for Brown. And then Spence, as we gaze at Chuck, we got a little break in the action.
And we'll take a break and get back. back here at the Omni. Ted Arzonico is going to stand in front of you, Bill.
Ted,
please get out of the way.
Ted, we're on the air.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Operation Clean Sweep. A really good job being done in Hudson County. We're going to talk about it at halftime. The Nets getting very involved in it. Rick Mahorn and more on that as we progress.
Another community service, huh?
Of the evening.
And quickly, Spence, is that little break in the action? Ought to be a great time to break for the great taste of Bud Light as Lang tees it up. It's a big hit with fans everywhere. It won't fill you up and never let you down. So make it a Bud Light.
52-43, 9-point Atlanta lead. Good defensive play by Lang on Morris. And
Hold on.
all along, here's Neat. 15 points for Wilkins.
I thought he
And
was...
that's just a little sloppy right here.
Yeah, well, again, bare backcourt because of penetration, people underneath, but you've got to react. And it often happens on the road for some reason.
Johnny Newman can't make it go. Wilkins. Newman comes over. Nice feed by Wilkins to Mookie. And here's Stacey Augmon on the follow. Knocked away out of bounds, and it's still going to belong to Atlanta. They're out hustling the Nets for the basketball.
Scrappy, they just not doing the job. Here they almost come up. Now this particular play is the jam, but on the play earlier, I thought he would regale us with some resounding send it in. But they just are not getting back on the floor in a good spurt at the end of the quarter here.
11-point Atlanta lead, their biggest. That's a goaltending call. Wilkins gets the basket.
And Mook the assist, and I don't think that was going in. All of a sudden, 13. In this one, over this cylinder, an easy call for the officials, but you're right. Getting after it a little more, the Hawks.
A 9-0 Atlanta run to open up this 13-point lead. And Coleman puts it home. 9 for DC. 56-45. Nets would like to get out of this under double digits. Alley-oop. Willis again. 3, 4 opportunities. You just can't let that happen. And
That's
then
happened
Lang with a prayer.
That's happened on at least 2
Yeah.
trips where they've had that many knockdowns.
They've out-rebounded the Nets 23-14. Good luck. Mo should have gone right up. And Lang with a foul, so he'll get 2.
I sort of like this move, though, with Lang there. Pretty good shot blocker, and the presence and their reaction, too, Spence. They don't move like we do. I mean, they really go when they're right there. I think he would have had that one, don't you?
Yeah, you're right.
On a second look, so Mo to the line.
58-45, Kevin Edwards and Craig Hilo set to come back into their respective lineups. Chris Morris has his first point, and David Wesley will come in. Kenny wants to stay, but Chuck Daly's attitude is, I don't want you out there picking up a third foul with 1:03 remaining. 63 seconds left in this quarter.
And also, it's a defensive trip now.
Yeah, and also, if the Nets get the ball back on a dead ball, he might be back. The guy who really invented that was Red Bull.
It was Mike
was
Reardon.
the best at it.
The giveaway. Mike Reardon later became a terrific NBA player.
Yeah, Mike Reardon.
Early in his career, just went in and out. He was the carrier almost.
Designated fouler.
Pretty good help. Derek over, maybe a tad late, but nice understanding.
Atlanta 18 free throws in this ball game. The 4 for the Nets. 60-47. The Hawks by 13.
Oh, Mookie almost with a pretty good steal. What a look.
And Morris puts it home.
And that's the other thing. Mo gets free. It's a great thing to have when you're looking for a bailout or an easy basket.
60-49. Nets will get one more opportunity. Willis tips that about. Oh, Gilliam so upset with himself because you let it go, it's not basketball.
Well, it's the immediate reaction, right? Just slap it. Make sure he doesn't get it.
And someone said, who knew? Who knew indeed? 20-second timeout called here by the Hawks. 21.9 seconds left in the first half. A 60-49 lead. Talk about the power move. Kevin Willis along the baseline off the feed for Mookie.
And here's the reaction, too, by Derek. I mentioned just a little bit late, but a little friendly gesture. I wonder if he would have done that if he would have blocked it. He would have been off and going.
A little more. Nets have turned the ball over 6 times this quarter, only 2 for Atlanta. That's 1 negative in this quarter. check it, 9-5. And interestingly enough, the Nets are shooting well in this first half, over 50%.
Well, right now, as you mentioned, 10 is a nice number. It's at 11. You need to stop here in the ball, and Charles indeed has this club believing in themselves. I mean, this is not a good quarter. They've not played as well as I've seen them of late, and yet hanging around.
Andrew Lang won't go, comes over to Wesley with 11 seconds to go in the quarter. David's got to recognize the clock. Coleman, shot into the hoop and putting it home.
And they got to get back.
4.8 seconds remaining.
Was that some power?
Yeah.
Did it go with some authority?
Craig Elo got it in the chin, too.
Oh, not
they're
a
gonna
foul,
call the
David.
foul.
They got to walk.
The Nets.
They got to break.
1.4 seconds remaining.
Whew. Got a chance for a catch and a shot.
Edwards won't get it off. That's it.
I heard Chuck say, don't turn it over. Get it in. If you get a shot, fine. Why not? To 9, the magic number you said was 10.
And it is down to 9. Craig Elo floating down floor. Watch it here. Watch the travel call.
Well, the Nets able to get that little call going. It's certainly a help for their cause. Hanging around with not a great effort.
Yeah. And on the Modell scoreboard, a 9-point lead for the Hawks. That's giving sports fans a chance to win a sports fantasy package that's going to keep you busy cheering for a while. You visit your local Nobody Beats the Wiz store, enter the sweepstakes. Here's what you can win. You can win a 4-day road trip for you and a guest with the Nets to a selected game. Raftery will be there. We'll all be there. A VIP night for you and 3 guests at a Nets game. A 1994 All-Star Weekend package in Minneapolis for 2. Tickets to see the Jets, Giants, plus much, much more. And the grand prize winner will also receive the chance to shoot for an additional $1 million prize. Not bad. You won't have to share that with Raftery either. This is a sweepstakes for the ultimate sports stuff. So visit your local Nobody Beats the Wiz store, and you sign up right now. We're in Atlanta, Georgia. We're at halftime. It's a 60-51 lead. And, you know, realistically, Bill, you know, you call me the purveyor of doom at times, but realistically, this one really could be a heck of a lot worse for the Nets. They're turning the ball over too often. Atlanta's out fighting them for the basketball, and they're destroying them off the boards. And yet they're still in this ballgame.
Balancing the floor, too, has been a problem. And not knocking down shots, giving ample opportunities for the Hawks. But as you look at the scoreboard and Chuck's facility for understanding each game differently, resting his people, understanding, hey, Wesley's going to have to help us at some point. For Anderson, he's going to have to learn how to play. Durrick spaced him as well. Comes back in, makes that big move at the end of the half, displaying great strength, overpowering Elo.
And at the free throw line again, been a big problem. Atlanta beating the Nets to the ball, and too many leak outs for Atlanta, and too many easy baskets.
Absolutely, that's the key. Make the shot, then you can get back and do some damage.
17 points for Dominique Wilkins in the first half of play, and he has been the big key for the Hawks. So we're at halftime with a score, Atlanta leading it by 9. We'll get back right after this. You can give the Nets an assist by wearing Nets team-identified apparel to home games at the Meadowlands Arena and walk away with a gift courtesy of Modell's Sporting Goods. If you're one of the first 1,500 to show up at the Modell's Redemption Center on Tuesday, February 15th, when the Nets take on the Knickerbockers, Modell's will have a special gift for you. Not bad, a gift just for supporting your home team, wearing Nets-identified clothing and things, and you better put a lot of clothing on. It is cold out, and down here in Atlanta, temperature got up to about 40 yesterday. We thought we were embroiled in a heat wave. Everybody wanted to go put their shorts on and their T-shirts and go out running. It's not quite that warm here, but cold back home. And the Nets shooting well. This has been a problem with them all year. They are not cold from the floor, but experiencing other problems against this team led by Dominique Wilkins, who has 17 first-half points.
And on occasion when they missed shots, the Nets didn't balance the floor in our chic
Close shave
tracer
highlights. Okay.
You'll notice the leak out. This is one of those terrific NBA style of fast break baskets. Great bounce pass by the Mookster. Getting back, important. Doubling up. This was an area at one of the timeouts that Chuck addressed. The double up, fine. The support lacking. Coleman now a little bit indecisive by the Hawks as to when to come. He looks at the clock and powers through as Concac unable to close it up. David Wesley, solid. Good look here as Newman compliments him by running the floor. The strong send it in finish. But David, sound basketball, didn't try and do anything unusual. Played within himself. Didn't knock down all the shots, but 5 assists, Spence.
5 assists and a real good half as we check out the halftime statistics. Brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealers. See the Nets shooting 55% from the floor. Even on field goals, each team with 23. Why the Nets trailing? Well, Atlanta has been to the free throw line 14 more times and has hit 8 more free throws. That's the difference in the ball game. That's a perfect 4 for 4. Rebounds, another problem. Only 3 of those 15 rebounds off the offensive boards for the Nets, while 9 of Atlanta's rebounds have come on second chances. 9 offensive rebounds, and the turnovers also hurting the Nets in the first half. And check the steals out, which we don't have a number for you there, but the steals are 7 for Atlanta, 3. So they're not exactly unforced errors. Atlanta is forcing the Nets into making the mistakes. The leading scorers in the first half, Dominique Wilkins with 17, Kevin Willis, Mookie Blaylock, and Craig Hilo with 9 apiece. Good balance for Atlanta. For the Nets, Derek Coleman with 11, Kenny Anderson, and Armin Gilliam, the hammer, with a good effort off the bench tonight, 9 points. The rebounding leaders for Atlanta, Kevin Willis with 11, 3 of them off the offensive boards, and leading the Nets, Derek Coleman with 4 of the 15 rebounds in the first half. We had bad weather back home, but let me tell you, this is Atlanta, Georgia. We're a little better equipped for it to a great extent, but they had a lot of problems, frozen pipes, and just check this out.
Amazing.
It's scary, isn't it?
They had a terrible tragedy here, too. One of the gals that worked in the press room on the way to the ball game on Martin Luther King's had an accident and died. Very tired. Her husband apparently is here tonight, first time out. So the whole country having severe difficulties.
Have you ever, in all the years, you know, New York, the New Jersey metropolitan area, you and I have lived there all our lives. I do not remember just a continuous cold wave like we've had like this.
It is terrible. I mean, so many tragedies and also the discomfort.
And it's, you know, scary for a lot of people who just can't take care of themselves either, you know, elderly people in particular. So the Nets underway, and a good defensive play to start off the third quarter, and right here the Nets almost turn it over.
Some pretty good plays, though, by Edwards and then Coleman to come up with it.
Anderson, Morris, that's 4-3, an in and outer. Kevin Edwards, offensive rebound, puts it on.
Boy, the timing and explosion by Kevin. And, of course, Mo soft enough that it's hanging around.
That's good luck, too, in and out. Nets are within 7. Stacey Augmon backing his way in around Benoit. That's a goaltend.
Nice also. And a smile because Derek thought he got it. But that was good coordinated effort by BB as he assists here and takes away the baseline jumper on the step through to reject. Looks better there, huh? But I think it was a legit one.
62-53, Atlanta by 9. Anderson penetrating. Kenny in trouble, and the foul. Concac with the grab. It is on Concac.
Now, Spence, Kenny was looking to do the right thing. He just couldn't, with the size of people, get the ball cross court.
Hey, you know, you pointed out something about Kenny. You said it so many times during the course of the season. He very rarely gets caught with a dribble stop. Here's Kevin Edwards putting it home, and that time he did get a little bit caught.
Well, those big people will do that to you. How about Kevin? 15 or more points in the last 4 games. He is on fire. 16 the other night. Here's the same kind of help. Benoit very alert on the doubles, and the big fella up strong.
And looking for Anderson, nearly a backcourt violation there. Kenny with the spin. Kenny still has it and puts it home. Oh, you gotta love it.
A little wow in the crowd. The buzz.
11 for Anderson. Nets are within 5.
You wouldn't call him a prodigal son, right? This is not his original home.
No.
But the wandering son.
Always be a fondness in his heart for Atlanta, Georgia. And we get a foul.
The help out as they couldn't pinch, and Neat getting an all-star call. Now, try and teach kids to do this, right? But how does he come up with this? First of all, he's
Threw his
shorter, right?
legs.
Emmitt Smith. Watch
That's
out,
funny.
San Francisco. That is a cute little replay. And contact saying, where did he go? The ball handling dexterity.
So Dominique Wilkins on the line has hit the first free throw and ready for the second one now. 18 for Neek. And the Nets down 7, 64-57, just underway, third quarter, 2 minutes in. Coleman.
Freddie Gibbs.
And DC in and out, rebound Benoit. The block by contact, and Stacey Augmon back. He has Wilkins on the right.
I thought he carried.
Yeah, they got it on him.
He was going to pass, and as the recovering defense, much better job. So you know the coaches talked about it, but as he had it in the left hand, his dominant hand, he thinks he's got a pass, but the recovering Nets, first of all, Edwards just spaces out beautifully and causes the turnover. Hustling back, very key.
And Benoit was caught up floor arguing the call, which could have hurt the Nets right there. Coleman, and we'll get a foul, and DC will go to the line to shoot 2. Kevin Willis picks it up, his second.
You like the drop step? And the package Augmon delivered earlier, very similar. Strong to the middle, drop, present yourself, the kiss, unrewarded, but the chance to go to 2.
And that's only their 5th free throw of the ball game. Atlanta with 20 thus far. And a perfect 5 for 5 for the Nets for Derek Coleman, and the Nets are within 6. They're hanging in.
And Stacey Augmon talking to Hugh Evans out there about how he palmed and carried. A little dialogue there at half court.
Nets once again close within 5, 64-59. They were down 9 at halftime.
A lot of back picks. Got to talk.
Lukey with a floater, won't go. Rebound Willis will.
Boy, he
Another
does.
second chance opportunity.
He works the glass, doesn't he?
One of the best.
And if you do rotate, move around to help others, he just slices in.
66-59. And back to 7. Nets can't get closer to 5. Here's Kevin Edwards firing for 2. 14 for Kevin. He has developed this. Oh, there once again. Back.
Can't happen. Shouldn't happen. Paying attention to business. It's a continual game. One end, and that's frustrating because that's one thing he prides himself in, is understanding we're going to do all the little things to make us better, and that time the Nets did not do it.
Happening too many times to this team tonight. Here's Coleman. DC, that's a 3. And puts it home.
And Willis down on the foul line on that. They better come out and play him. And Lenny Wilkins not real happy with the D. So the big fella
And the Nets are within 4 on
knocks
the
it down, huh? What range he has. This was a bad play. The three-pointer, a good one. Big guys have to get back on the Modell scoreboard, down by 4.
Time now for our American Express trivia quiz. What 2 Hawks first-round draft picks played for the Nets? That's our American Express trivia quiz.
I can guess one. I couldn't
one.
guess the other.
Here's Mickey putting it home.
Boy, too easy, huh? Uncontested.
11 points for Blaylock, and the Nets are down 6. Right off the timeout, the Hawks come up with a basket. I said that about good coaches. They come up with a good play off the timeout. Kenny Anderson right back, won't go. Benoit with the rebound.
He's got a wide, good look.
Kevin Edwards
Knocking
puts
it down.
home. I started to say about Kevin, he's developed this propensity of turning it up in the second half over the last 5 or 6 games. Big second half performances. Here's Wilkins. Rebound, Benoit. To Mo, and recognizes a lot of white shirts around him.
And he got an open opportunity because of the gamble.
And Kenny puts it home.
You can't gamble, even though it's 2-on-1 right there. Good looking play by Mo. Good control.
70-68. The Nets within 2, closest they've been since the first quarter. Wilkins. Nice move. Challenged by Coleman. Won't go. And Kevin Edwards with the rebound.
Good fan dribble. Sort of opens the floor up or settles.
Look away pass and a beauty to Mo by the kid.
And when you
We're tied.
push, good things happen. People don't get back and identify.
We're tied at 70 with 6:44 left in the third quarter. Posting up Willis against Coleman. Wilkins to Concat. Rebound, Kevin Edwards. Looks to run.
Boy, good solid play by Kevin, huh? Rebounding.
Coleman against Willis.
See, now that's a good, strong, quick move.
Off the three-pointer.
He's complaining and he didn't run back. And at least
an
to a
easy
basket.
That's the problem, as you pointed out. Your man shouldn't beat you down floor.
No. The guy you're guarding takes off, you take off. I mean, you might be a step behind because you made an offensive move, but you are gaining on him.
Kenny Anderson, another good look for the kid who has 15.
He's got a snap right now in his game. That net is snapping. Snap.
7 of 10 from the floor for Anderson, and we're tied at 72. Here's Willis against Coleman.
Derek, they're going to let him play on that. Does he force him into a tough shot?
And Benoit with the rebound. Gets it out over to Coleman. Willis is back. See how quickly Willis got back.
Of course, he was fading back on that shot. Grant him that. Down to 10.
Down to 7. Kenny slithers through. Look away to Coleman and a beauty.
Oh, does he draw people? The big fella with some strong authority.
18 points for Coleman. 7 here in this third quarter, and the Nets lead it by 2. Dominique for 3. He's got it.
And Mo was that an inch away.
22 for Wilkins. And the Hawks back in front, 75-74. And Chuck Daly wants a timeout. 4:47 left third quarter, the Modell scoreboard. The Nets battling back. Trail it now by 1 following the Dominique Wilkins three-pointer. Have a dream about taking your favorite shot at the Meadowlands? Well, Charlie Brown's lets you take your best shot at the Charlie Brown's Shootout Challenge. Easy to enter. Just visit your neighborhood Charlie Brown's. Fill out an entry form. One entrant chosen from each restaurant to attend the Net Heat game. That's on February 22nd, and you'll participate in the shootout. Now, each monthly shootout winner is going to come back at the end of the year and shoot it out for the grand prize of a trip for 4 to any place in the world American Airlines flies for 6 nights and 7 days. So take your best shot with Charlie Brown's by signing up for the Shootout Challenge.
Well, CB, huh? And isn't that pretty? And that's what you call a pretty legs of lamb.
That's right. The Shari Lewis's, that's lamb chop slippers. You got a pair of lamb chop slippers at home?
I've never thought of going to a game that comfortable, huh?
That's comfortable.
She is in what you call the comfort zone.
Ooh, Maddie Loughlin. Oh, did she know she's on
Were
TV?
you a thumb imbiber?
Was I I had a blankie, though.
Did you
have a blankie?
No, we couldn't afford blankies.
Here's Anderson back.
Nice
and
save.
a nice play by Benoit.
There's Anderson and Edwards really lighting it up, and on cue, huh, Kevin?
There's Kevin right back. He has 10 points in this quarter.
17 points in the first half. They got 16 in the third. That's amazing. A difference, huh?
Greg Elo's in the lineup now. Had a real good first half with 9 points off the bench. Good double up. Mookie looking for Willis.
Tough.
Kevin Willis.
And Chuck is letting Derek play him alone. Now that helps your defense. He's been able to contain. That time his patented little jump hook.
Willis, an 18-point-a-game score. Mookie with a steal.
And Kenny with the hole. Oh, no, they got Mookie.
Ronnie Nunn says it is on the Mookster.
Well, either one, huh? As they both know how to play, you got to hold the guy before you don't want him to beat you to the open floor.
Not Atlanta, that is their 13th foul in this quarter. Here's Edwards tied up. We'll get a jump ball.
And they go with the little guys as Kevin Willis tries to step in. Well, you mentioned getting into traffic. Kenny, a guy that gets in and out of it easily, and Here's the play as they run towards the backcourt, and if one holds, the other holds. Watch now. Oh, a good call by Ronnie Nunn. Yeah.
He pushed Kenny off, and then Kenny did come back and push in. Edwards wins the tip.
Pretty good hands by Mookie ever since Oklahoma, and maybe in junior college at Odessa too.
Derek Coleman in and out. Rebound. Willis gets it over to Blaylock. Mookie.
And Dominique's not identified by the right size guy. Yep, give a good look like that.
Rebound pulled down by Morris. Almost has it taken away by Wilkins. And Mo will bring it into forecourt. One bounce to Coleman.
That's
that ball for the steps.
Well, that's one of those. There are too many people ahead, and Mo trying to ignite the break. Yeah, it was the kind of play where he should have fan dribbled. Durek catching it in traffic now as everybody gathers. He's trying to slide through without the walk. He was running full tilt.
It's like the quarterback giving the guy a pass in the flat with his back to the defense, and there are three guys coming to destroy him.
Bang!
A suicide pass. Willis. Rebound. Coleman. Nice rebound by DC. Nets down a point with 3:10 left third quarter.
Pretty strong defense too by Durek, using that body. They got the mismatch. Now they're calling it illegal.
And Benoit puts it home. So Benjamin with 8 points now. His first 2 here in the third quarter. And the Nets back in front with 2:50 left in the third.
On the post-up, he came up the lane. He gave him a look. That's what you have to do. Present yourself. Pretty good play by Benoit.
Oh, pretty backdoor feed by Mookie to Craig Elo through the lane. And the Hawks back in front.
Pretty good give and take right now.
79-78 Atlanta.
Good brush screen, and Edwards not helped at all on that one.
Coleman against Willis. It's been a good battle. DC won't go. Morris tried to tip it. Mo's hurt.
Got hit in the face.
Here's Mookie to Elo. Nice feed to Wilkins for the jam. And Mo is down on the other end of the floor. And a 20-second timeout. Ted Arzonico is going to go out there to take a look at Chris Morris.
Shot of HD there. Howard David, Mike O'Corin, radio play-by-play, and color analyst, former Net, and Tar Heel.
And we will give you the answer to our American Express trivia quiz. The 2 Hawk first-round draft choices played for the Nets. Ramil Robinson, of course, who was traded for Mookie Blaylock, and Dallas Comegys in 1987.
I think Ramil, we would have gotten Mo up big, almost had this one go down. And just as we have seen over the years, scintillating on these miss and gather.
Ooh, he got an elbow right in the face.
Right, a heck of a shot. He also got fouled on that follow-up.
Yeah.
And he had his arm pulled, which threw him out towards the middle of the floor.
And it was Koncak's elbow that got him square in the chin. He'll take a rest now. And P.J. Brown in the lineup to take his place.
And Spence, day in and day out, at home or on the road, you can always count on the great taste of Bud Light. It won't fill you up and never let you down. So make it a Bud Light.
2 minutes left third quarter. Nets are down 3 points. Here's Benoit. Won't go. Rebound Kevin Willis. 81-78 Atlanta.
Chuck calling that number. You just come up big with the jump shot.
15 rebounds for Willis now. He's getting good position, isn't he?
Durek's worked pretty hard, though, I think.
I'll tell you, Stacey Austin climbed in a few backs, didn't he?
He sure did.
Rebound, Kenny Anderson.
Oh, he had the right idea.
Edwards. Put it right into Mookie's hands. Here's Augman. Stacey Augman puts it home. That's getting sloppy now. And it is a 5-point Atlanta lead with 1:05 remaining in this third quarter.
That trip was unattractive from the get-go, wasn't it? Then Kevin just turned and sort of aimlessly threw it back. On the dribble throughs, you must protect, huh?
6-0 run for Atlanta. Nets are up a point. They're down 5 now. Kenny fires for 3, and a big one indeed.
Legs. He's got them.
18
smile
for Anderson.
The kid.
And the Nets are within 2. 83-81. Again, Willis and Coleman. Benoit comes over to help. Elo, that's for 2.
A lot of scrambling. Leave him open. He will decimate you.
13 points for Craig Elo, 85-81. Atlanta by 4. Closing seconds, third quarter. Atlanta will get the ball back. You see the difference between the game and the time clock. Coleman against Willis.
Good step
Nice
throw.
move. And it rolls home. That's again within 2, 20 for Coleman.
Did you see him up again in case?
Yeah, he was ready.
Ready to tip with both hands.
Down to 8 seconds as Mookie Blaylock sets the offense. Willis won't go. Rebound, Benjamin. And Ben holding on as the horn sounds, ending the third quarter. A good quarter for the Nets, who came into it down 9 on the Modell scoreboard, and they'll go into the final quarter here at the Omni, trailing the Hawks by a 83. Tomorrow night, Nets return home to the Meadowlands Arena to take on, it'll be the Chris and Chris show. Chris Mullin, Chris Webber, and the rest of Don Nelson's Golden State Warriors. We talk about a team that has turned it around this year, even without Mr. Hardaway. The Warriors and the Nets tomorrow night, only meeting of the season between the Nets and the Warriors at the Meadowlands. Some tickets are still available if you can't make it out. We do invite you to join us on Sports Channel. 7:30 starts the tip-up at 7:15. Then the Nets head west. Tuesday night, Portland. Thursday night, Seattle. And Saturday night in Oakland to go against the Warriors. Check your local listings for times and the contest, which will all be seen on Sports Channel. And right here, real good quarter for the Nets, Bill.
Kenny's buddy and the manager, Giuseppe at Malloy and Georgia Tech, he's here watching the game, and he can't believe the range of Kenny. I'll finish your thought in a minute. Nice help.
Yeah, DJ. 2-point lead as we start the fourth quarter for Atlanta. Here's Stacey Augmon.
And Chuck likes that matchup with BJ on Augmon, and also gives Edwards a chance a little quicker to play Elo, who they run some of these down screens for.
Willis again, and Kevin Willis going one-on-one with DC, more than holding his own.
So the end of it is Giuseppe said, who's the trainer that's been working on his legs? Or David Paval, which I thought was interesting, meaning conditioning coach.
Yep. That's a strength coach. Got these guys working hard. Gilliam.
Nice save. Not quite.
And Mookie lost it out of bounds.
Oh, they got a foul on Kevin Edwards.
Hugh Evans made the call.
He's smiling, believe it or not.
Kevin's third. Watch Kevin. Yep. Oh, that's a good call. Yeah, they don't miss much, these guys, in what used to be the striped shirts. Elo around Kevin, beat him on the baseline.
Oh, tough pass, and didn't get away with it.
And here come the Nets in the run, trailing by 4.
Oh! Now he got caught.
PJ after him, won't go, but look, nobody is back.
And that's what Chuck is jumping up for. I mean, it's a continuous game. Big play. You got to run, and that's frustrating.
And that is something that you can miss 20 shots, he ain't going to scream like that.
And he doesn't get mad at missed shots. You're right. I mean, it's like that kind of play that rankles him, or anybody that coaches.
Gilliam, the hammer with a power move to the hoop. That's needed a hoop right there.
And he did, and he took advantage twice in a row. He didn't get away with it the first time. Chuck calls it again.
89-85, Atlanta by 4. Elo, that'll count. Oh.
They want the goal in, and PJ got those feet moving. Elo thinking he can go by. As we've seen, PJ can play little guys here. Gets a little too much of the body rub without the alcohol, huh? Got to give that cushion and move the legs.
Called a non-shooting foul. Lang back in the lineup replaces Concock. Here's Andrew Lang with the basketball. And Mookie on the curl is open. Rebound, Kevin Edwards. Nets down 4. 9:39 remains.
Let Kenny get to the side. They're going to run a little 2- and 4-man play.
Gilliam Around Augman at the baseline.
Oh.
Shot won't go. Once again, Gilliam. And the shot won't go again. That was a maker right there.
2 of them.
Yeah.
For him.
17 rebounds for Kevin Willis.
Nice little help inside.
Coleman had the steal, then couldn't come up with it. Elo around PJ. And Greg Elo with a nice move to put it home. He's got 17, and the Nets are down 6.
He gave the little look off, too, as he saw Gilliam.
91-85. Atlanta with the lead.
Got a cut now.
Gilliam. Kevin Edwards for 3. Like that one.
Nobody back.
Nope. Once again. Easy one for Elo. The Nets are down 8. Sloppy defense right here by the Nets. You got to get back. Edwards will bring it in the forecourt on the Modell scoreboard. The Nets have now fallen behind by 8. And in danger right here of letting this one get away. Tomorrow afternoon on Sports Channel, Seton Hall basketball. The Pirates of P.J. Carlesimo take on Jim Boeheim, Syracuse Orangemen. Tomorrow afternoon at 1, live and exclusive on Sports Channel. You weren't with us a couple of nights ago. I sent my congratulations to Jim Boeheim, the head coach at Syracuse, for the 26 out of 27 free throws against St. John's in that win. Never again will I get on the Orangemen for their free throw inability. They have turned the corner.
He has people listening.
I know.
Even if he's
Keeps
playing.
a record of what I
Sure.
say. Okay, here we go.
Pretty good
That's in
matchup.
trouble right here. They're down 8, and they need the defensive stops, and they got to get the offense working again.
And Chuck giving Derek a little bit of a rest, and Benoit, who's played well, back in.
And they look for him, and we got a foul. Oh, no, it's an illegal defense.
Nice little step in again by Benoit, presenting himself to the basketball. Penny looking around saying, or Lenny looking around saying, where? It always offends the mentor.
My men don't do that.
We always say boys high and Mickey Fisher, don't we?
Yeah.
And he's old coach. Chris, I was having problems last week. Greats.
Don't wait.
Well, so played for Joe, but Lenny, one of the greats in that
sure.
institution. Storied institution, huh?
Great players out of Boys High School. Anderson fired. Had the legs on that one, but it would go. Lang with a rebound. Mookie finds Elo. 8-point lead. They could go to double digits right here. Nets need a stop.
Just play sound. Forced a tough shot.
That is 9 of the 24. Kevin Willis.
Good count.
Big night for him. He's got 21.
Hammer did a real good job. Faked him, took away the baseline, and a good counter move by Willis.
And the Nets now find themselves down 10. They were down 9 at the half, then took the lead in the third quarter. Gilliam. Rebound. Big Ben puts it home.
Solid. And the Nets, again, they leak out. And Johnny Newman gives it to either they've scouted the Nets well, or just tonight the legs aren't there because the leak outs have been destructive. If you can't get back, make the play half court, a little better chance.
Chuck Daly, cognizant of the problem. Here is Elo. Greg Elo. Big night for him, too. He's got 21 in the ball game. Elo has hit 10 of 13 from the floor. Wilkins with 24, Willis 21, and Greg Elo with 19.
He's had some great looks, too. I mean, you can see that hit right on the 10.
Gilliam puts it on. Elo with 21, actually.
They got to delay the game. On the Nets. Boy, Hammer's had some opportunities, too.
Yeah.
Any good position, always, as noted earlier, understands where the hole is, how to get free.
Now we move down to crunch time with 6:40 remaining. Atlanta with an 8-point lead, 97-89. Stacey Osman talked about his improved offense.
Going right.
Yeah.
Going right. The lefty able to put it up and down with the weaker ball.
Back to a 10-point lead with 6:20 remaining. Nice look by Kenny.
Pretty cut and pass.
And PJ wouldn't go, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
They're getting tougher. I think they're tougher-minded.
This
see
kid,
this club potentially. They think positively. Here's the open area and a good cut, but how about the pass? I mean, some heat on it as Benoit fires it. BJ unable to convert, but good-looking play.
Chris Morris set to return in the lineup. C.J. Brown with his 3rd point.
We're talking about the Nets being rested. Neeks had a lot of time on the Pies.
99-91, Atlanta by 8 as we approach 6 minutes remaining in this ballgame. And here comes Dominique.
You would bring it up, right? That's what you're looking at me for.
Chris Morris set to return to the net lineup.
Chuck's got Newman with the long arms, able to play Elo.
Zuki. Rebound, Kenny Anderson. Nobody had a body on Willis either. That high rebound, fortunately.
Kenny's got a choice of sides right here.
Gilliam tries to challenge Lang. Down to 5 on the 24. Newman stepped out of bounds. Not a good set either.
Pretty good play by Elo, though. He spaced himself that the pass had to be lobbed, and Johnny had to come up with the ball.
So Wilkins back in. Elo sits down with 21 points on 10 of 13 from the floor. Wilkins back in. He has the ball. Morris on the defense. And Bowen for PJ. Drew Lang, rebound. Johnny Newman hands it to Anderson. Nets are down 8. 5:10 left. Kenny to the hoop, and the foul by Lang on his back.
Now Mookie can guard Spencer. This kid, the legs tonight to make the 3, but how about the overdrive here? And lean in, make sure you take the hit, draw that contact. Didn't extend the arm until the end.
Until the end.
Oh, he is fun to watch.
Coleman and Edwards will come back into the net lineup. And Kenny Anderson with his 19th point, his first one here in the 4th quarter. Johnny Newman will sit down. Armin Gilliam will sit down. And Chuck Daly will go with Edwards, Anderson in the backcourt, Morris, Coleman, and Benoit Benjamin, the 5 that started the ball.
I'm just looking at the stats. Mookie's got 13 assists. Kenny's got 10. And you mentioned that number 20 now for Kenny. And Mookster at 11. So 2 pretty talented guys going head-to-head.
Be a battle in this league for many, many years.
Tough match here for Derek with the dribble.
99-93.
They got the small change, but they call it.
That's a team foul, number 4. With 4:54 remaining. Next one puts the Nets over the limit. Atlanta with only 2 team fouls. Lang on the high post. Dominique Wilkins. Got to get those high rebounds.
Great rebound.
Willis has it.
Kevin Edwards in there mixing it up. Just the bigger guy won out.
Number 17 for Willis in the ball game. 5 off the offensive board. Osmond knocked away. And Derek Coleman has it on the turnover with 4:20 remaining.
And what I like is Derek automatically now is starting to look for Kenny. Get it to him and let him run the show.
That's scored the last 4. Their biggest run of the game has been 6-0. Nice
pass.
Look. Benoit. Coleman.
They got a foul. Oh, poor Benoit. I mean, he should be at the free throw line.
Willis on the foul.
Well, sometimes you don't get a lot of respect. And this is one particular play. Everybody in there banging. Oh, my goodness. He's fortunate to come out unscathed. Great look, though, by the kid. Doesn't get an assist on that one, but certainly warrants one.
Coleman at the line to shoot 2. 21 points for D.C. We'll get a timeout. 4:04 remaining. The Modell scoreboard right here. The Nets with an opportunity to narrow the deficit to 4 when we return to the Omni. The Nets can make all your dreams come true with the Herman's Sporting Goods $1 Million game of the month. And here's how it works. You need to guess the correct score for the Nets Cleveland Cavalier game, which takes place on Wednesday, February 9th. Of course, that you have to guess it before the game is played. You pick up an entry at Eddie Herman's World of Sporting Goods or at the Nets game on January 22nd. Now, one lucky, that's tomorrow night against the Golden State Warriors. One lucky winner chosen to attend the game on February 9th. And if the score you fill out, you got to pick the correct team that wins the game also. If the score you fill out on the entry blank is correct, you're going to walk away $1 million richer. Spencer Ross, Bill Raftery with you here at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. We have 4 minutes, 4 seconds remaining. Despite the fact that the Nets have had their longest run, a 6-0 run in this ball game, they've hung tough against an Atlanta team that's had a 10-0 run, had a 9-0 run. They're very much in the game, and it's been a big night for that guy, Dominique.
Don't you feel they are starting to have amongst themselves, and that and as well as this understanding that they know how to get the job done. And controlling Dominique will be essential in the next 4 minutes.
So that's a 6-0 run now for the Nets. Second time they've had one. They're within 4. And we're under 4 minutes to go. They've been down as many as 10 in this fourth quarter have been the Nets. Here's Willis and Benoit with a good defensive play. Just could not get it.
This
Notice
is
the change right now. It's Benoit going against Willis.
This is as good as I've seen it.
Yeah.
Not the offensive end, but just his effort, concentration. Yeah, you're right. They got Coleman on Lang.
Down to 5 on the 24.
And they're going to give it to Neek late. And boy, what a break for the Nets.
Who's going to get the rebound? It's Derek Coleman. Nets down 4. 3:35 remains in this fourth quarter. Anderson.
Oh, he was thinking.
Kevin Edwards. High rebound. DC jam.
Oh, was he up? What a presence. Terrific. Got himself in the lane.
And the Nets are within 2 with 3:10 remaining in this fourth quarter. Here's Mookie. Willis with the spin, the foul on the Nets. They're over the limit. It'll send Willis to the line to shoot 2.
It's so easy to stay outside when you see the guy take the jump shot. But to get involved is Derek, and he knew how big, how important that sequence was going to be.
Augman leaves Elo back in. Kevin Willis on the line to shoot 2. Willis a 74% free throw shooter. Atlanta had the big edge of the free throw line in the first half. They only got 2 free throws in the second half. That's their third. Willis with his 22nd point.
And he got the roll and acknowledged the rim. Did you see that little 6-shooter action?
Thank you, Rim. Didn't need the rim that time. 23 for Willis.
And they put a little pressure. They did it in the first half. They got to get free. See if they run a trap. They do. It's tough to trap him, isn't it?
Under 3 minutes remaining. 2:55 left in this ball game. Nets are down 4. 101-97. Edwards to Coleman.
They just missed the pass, and that made him fumble it.
Morris double teamed now. Mo tried to feed it inside, and it's stolen away. Wilkins gets it to Mookie Blaylock with 2:40 remaining. Now the Nets really need to stop. Cannot afford to go down a half a dozen here. And they go right to the post. Willis, 6-point lead. Kevin Willis with a couple of free throws and a basket. And Atlanta has taken a 103-97 lead.
That's his shot, though.
Yeah.
Able to knock it down.
11 of 20 from the floor in this ball game. That's forced it. Coleman puts it home. The Nets are within 4. Big basket.
Now, Kenny saw Morris just a second after he was free. Not a bad look, but what a gamble.
26 points for Coleman. Nets within 4.
That's the confidence Kenny has, Spencer. Can't take it away.
Hasn't made many mistakes tonight. I'll tell you that.
Well, they don't get back on the line. Now they recover.
Willis in and out. Who's going to get the rebound? Morris to Kenny Anderson. Nets can cut it to 2, and they do. 22 for the kid. It's 103-101.
Activity, and Chuck wanted a back court. Chuck was right. He was in the air and caught it before he landed on the end. Look at this
Well
foul.
played by Benoit. Willis has it. Dominique. Willis taken out of his hands by Kevin Edwards. Morris is all alone. He will tie the ball game.
Tubba! Hook!
Timeout Atlanta with 1:18 remaining. The Nets have run 6 in a row and tied it at 1:03. Whoa, you gotta love it.
And Edwards ripping the ball away. Now this looks like a little amp. Is it? No doubt. The Hawk by Mo.
Lenny Wilkins with some instructions for his club.
And CD going over things with Brendan Seward and exactly what is enjoyed by Wilkins at this time of game. That's an important aspect. We've talked about Rick Carlisle and Brendan with the film and tape and scouting, making suggestions as to what will be run. And usually Neek or Mook will end up with it.
That's with a 14-4 run. They were down 99-89.
Look at this front by Coleman. Oh, great
and DC
job.
with a steal. He looks for the timeout. Did he get a foul or a timeout?
He did. And of course, as you noted, first in the last two. And this is just great defense. The denial here causes the problems. And of course, the putting the ball over the head. Everybody knows what you're going to do. You've got to be a threat over there. Faking one way, but Coleman with a big-time play.
We are down under a minute. There you see it. Approaching 50 seconds. Anderson doubled up. Edwards looks, finds Benoit. Nice look for Coleman. Puts it home. Counted it one.
The kiss. Oh, was that gorgeous? The pass by the big fella.
By Benoit.
Benoit. BB 00. Look at this touch pass. And now gathering people and exploding. Well, that's one of the nicest kisses Daly has had in recent memory.
Andrew Lang picks up his 4th foul. A lot of excitement on that bench right now. That's nice to see.
Oh, it is.
Coleman with a chance to put the Nets up 3. Will not. Laylock with a rebound. A 2-point net lead. 40 seconds remain.
Make them use clock and you get the last one.
Down to 32 seconds. Dominique locked off nicely by Coleman. The rebound. Fought for. Coleman can't find it. Benoit loses it. Willis puts it home. And we're tied with 22 seconds remaining. We're tied. The Nets will ISO.
We're trying to get 10.
It's down to 10. 9. Tie ball game. 7. Coleman begins his move against Willis. Knocked away. Mookie. 2. 1. Eli. We're going to overtime. We are gone to overtime here in Atlanta, Georgia. Whoa, what a finish. Kevin Willis puts home the tying basket. Coleman thought he was fouled here.
See if he does get, but while the scrape is there, that's one you got to control it, though. You can't make the soft pass and the Nets able to dodge that one. Oh.
Kenny Anderson back in Atlanta. Got to stick around another 5 minutes because we're going to overtime as the Nets and the Atlanta Hawks all even at 103 all. In a ball game that saw the Nets trail 99-89 before going on a 14-4 run to tie the ball game up and then actually taking the lead before Kevin Willis hits the basket. A great effort by Derek Coleman for the basket. Then he misses the free throw and Willis comes up with the equalizer. Look at the opportunities here. That's one. Blank.
It's amazing how they pursued the basketball. How do you win games, right? Control the basketball, squeeze it, don't give them opportunities. The Nets, it's tough to get the ball in at half court. The one thing I thought Derek could have done was given it to Kenny early as he got over to half court and then get into some offense, but they took Kenny away as he bounced it, and now Chuck said, okay, you take him.
Yeah.
Once you're doubled, he was sort of leaving his feet. He did get straight. But controlling the ball at that time was critical.
And a fortuitous bounce for Atlanta to set up that last basket by Kevin Willis. So we're into overtime. Atlanta has played one OT game this year. They're 0-1. The Nets are even 1-1 in extra session. A great comeback, but now is where it really counts. We're in overtime. Morris tried to get it to Coleman, and Mookie knocked it out of bounds.
Be careful with the basketball.
especially with number 10 for Atlanta and number 2, Stacey August, who was not in the lineup right now as Elo is in there. We're tied at 103. We have started overtime.
And they zone up and they leave Derek open.
BC rebound pulled down by Elo, gives to Mookie Blaylock 20 seconds into the extra session.
And Bo's done a nice job on Dominique.
Dominique did not score in the fourth quarter.
They're trying to get it to Willis. Derek with a nice job. This is that great denial. He came up with the steal earlier.
Won't go. Rebound. We're going to get a foul on Lang over the back. That's his 5th personal as he went into Benoit.
Now that's the kind of job Benoit can do, has to do. You know, seal off, get the basketball. Derek again with his ability to strength-wise to keep him out, but right there, climbing because he was in position, and Lang is okay, even though he came up gimpy.
We're still tied. We played nearly 50 seconds in overtime.
Trying to run pick and roll with Benoit, who's going to end up with a little 10-footer.
Benoit won't go. Not a good set for the Nets. Here's the lead to Elo, who beats to won't put it home, and the follow won't go. 3 opportunities. And Wilkins with a basket to give the Hawks the lead. Like a pinball machine, they kept coming off the board.
Probably used Derek after that last trip. Yeah, everybody has to get back. Only 2 guys got back.
Anderson can't put it home, and the rebound pulled down by Dominique Wilkins. Atlanta with a 2-point lead, a minute and a half into overtime.
Owen Coleman, the guys that they're likely going to go to, and what is their guarding?
Here's Willis with 5-3 on the 24. Willis with a miss. Rebound, Derek Coleman, and a big one.
There in that baby, huh? They don't play defense in the league, huh?
Who said that?
That's the only way the Nets got back in this game, and Chuck with the timeout. Now, opting to organize and come up with a different kind of a look, quite possibly. Maybe Derek down on the box, but here's 1 net back, right? The miss. Here's Coleman. 2. You need 3. You need 4. You notice late?
Late.
Got a sprint that is so meaningful. The continuity of the game, the flow dictates you've got to always be in overdrive.
And instead, the Nets find themselves down a deuce. 107-105 here in overtime. That's down 10. Late in the fourth quarter, launch a furious comeback and have an opportunity to win it. And that's what makes it harder to take, particularly if you're a coach, right?
Well, you think of the free throw, right? I mean, you're saying, well, if Derek
and the
makes
job
the free
Derek's
throw.
done tonight has been, you know, just exemplary.
The defense on Willis, I mean, he has made him struggle for his goals. He came up with a great steal. He's made big rebounds. I think a little bit of the tiredness is showing on the offensive end. And that's a good sign for a team. It means they're plugging on this end. So now they've got to, with the timeout, get the fresh mind, fresh legs, and a recall. What should we run? What's going to be effective? And this is where experience comes in. Kenny will understand. Maybe he'll suggest something, or Derek will. Or the coaches will decide, hey, we think we have an advantage. Strong post up. Let them double and get some cuts out of it.
Dominique, who had a real big first half with 17 points, came into the fourth quarter with 24. Chris Morris, a great job on him. He did not score in the fourth quarter, and that followed just moments ago here in this overtime session. Wilkins' first 2 points since the start of the fourth quarter.
I think if Kenny not able to turn the corner as much. They've been running that high pick and roll.
Yeah.
He hasn't been able to get down to the middle, so you may see some open play there for the kid. And look at
Nets have the ball. 15 seconds left on the 24-second clock. 3:01 left in overtime. We played 2 minutes of overtime. Only 2 points have been scored. And that on a Wilkins follow. Anderson gliding through. Benoit on the follow!
Well, there's that open middle, and the kid exploded and drew the D. And Benoit, once again, stepping up big time.
12 points for Benjamin. 2:45 remains in overtime. We're tied at 107.
What a nice job by Mo. Watch the spin out now.
Wilkins And it went.
Almost a net ball.
That's right.
Or a flange ball. That would have been a
28
jump ball.
points.
If it stayed up there, it would have been a jump
Yeah.
ball.
Atlanta by a deuce with 2:20 remaining in overtime. Anderson. Pretty feed.
Oh.
Coleman, what power to the hoop.
And how did he hang and then come up with the splice? Nice little look.
We're tied at 109. There you see the clock approaching 2 minutes remaining in overtime. Good position for Neek, who puts it home. He's found a touch again. 6 points in overtime.
He faked everybody out on that one.
And a 2-point lead for Atlanta. A minute 55 left in extra session. The Hawks 111, the Nets 109, down at 10 on the 24. Kevin Edwards blocked by Lang. Atlanta has the basketball.
And they don't get back.
Willis. But a break for the Nets on a Willis miss of the jiffy.
You saw the smaller guys getting back. The big guys lacking some gas and steam.
A minute 28 left in overtime. Atlanta 111, the Nets 109. Kenny Anderson.
Got to get free.
Down to 5 on the 24.
Nice.
What a feed to Coleman. On the follow, Benoit puts it home.
Got it in the one hand, enable him to dislodge it. But once again, Benoit hanging around the chin. Are you all right,
I'm
Spencer?
fine. A minute 10 remaining in this overtime session and what has been one exciting evening here in Atlanta. Here's Mookie. They go to Wilkins again. We get a foul.
I think I'm on the reach in, but part of the Nets' success tonight is the presence of BB. Benoit Benjamin always around. A great saving pass, and you see the clean block, but look who's here to pick it up.
And Morris, his 4th personal. It's only the first team foul for the Nets. The first one in the final 2 minutes. P.J. Brown's going to come in now.
Well, they've been going to Dominique, and you might see P.J. They're not going to let him get in now. They got to put they put 2-point. They're having trouble getting P.J. in, and now with the timeout, will be able to go in.
Atlanta has called the timeout. 59.2 seconds remain in overtime. And we're back where we started. We're still tied. It's the Nets 111 and the Atlanta Hawks 111. Whoop! An exciting night here in Atlanta. We're all tied at 111. 111. We have 59.2 seconds remaining in overtime. Atlanta still has a foul to give. The next one will send the Nets into the bonus situation. Kenny Anderson, big night for him tonight, coming back to Atlanta. 22 points. Talking with Ronnie Nunn. P.J. Brown is coming to the lineup now, replacing Chris Morris. P.J. will take on the unenviable task of trying to defend that man, Dominique Wilkins.
Real good move, Spence. I think you'd agree, because all of a sudden Dominique, with that size and explosion, has been able to get free and go over Mo.
And Mo did a good job in the fourth quarter, held him scoreless. But right now, we have less than a minute remaining. Atlanta has the basketball. Great Elo. Kevin Edwards on the D. Willis trying to post up. Good defense by Coleman, fronting him. Here's Mookie. Off the mark. P.J. went for the rebound. Kenny Anderson, what a snare.
And P.J.'s size almost came up with it.
38 seconds remaining in overtime. We're tied at 111.
Once again, being pushed down on the box, and they're going to, when they double now, they got to be ready to cut. They got the little.
Oh, and that's a break for the Nets because we're under 24 seconds to go right now.
Down to 5.
And that means they call the foul. And that means the Nets will or should get the final shot. And Chuck Daly checks the clock and calls a timeout. 23.7 seconds remaining in overtime. Nets have the basketball. We're still tied at 111. Kenny Anderson and the Nets make their way back out onto the floor. 23.7 seconds remain in overtime. We are tied at 111. 111. Nets own the basketball. Both teams in danger of going over the limit. Next foul sets them over. What a big foul and a break for the Nets.
Sure was. You made that point. They get the last shot here. But now the key thing, I think, is to get it to Kenny Anderson's hand. Maybe this time let him break down the D. Generally in the middle, he's pretty effective.
That's what they're going to do. Down to 16.
Come up late for the pick and roll, it looks like. Let's see if they use Derek.
Down to 10.
They got him spread.
Down to 7.
Offensive tip position. You got to get in.
Kenny on the roll. It's in with 1.3 seconds remaining. Kenny Anderson hits the hoop, and the Nets have the lead. Timeout Atlanta.
A will goal. A will goal. He didn't get the great stroke, but enough legs and had to propel himself over Mookie, who was right on him, Spencer. And right here,
good defense.
It's excellent defense, and you'll just see the little extra off, and it gets up on a 10, and it cradles, caresses, and goes down. A lot of body English on the sideline as well. But you've got to commend Mookie for hanging tough. This is where he's electrifying. Doesn't get the corner turn, but enough of that ticker in that shot.
You know what you face here now, Bill. You face a situation with guys like Elo and guys like Wilkins, guys who can shoot for 3, and Mookie also. You have 3 guys out there.
You got to make them face out. If they're going to get anything, it's got to be facing out, thinking. They only need 2, but you've got to make the face out, so you don't want the direct pass to the post. You know, the one thing defensively, Dirk is very good at three-quarter. Benoit has to be as alert, and also don't forget, you mentioned you can get one bounce and a shot out of this too, so you don't want to lunge up on those good outside shooters and have them go by and then shoot the open jumper.
So we have a 2-point net lead. Kenny Anderson's basket giving the Nets the lead at 113 to 111.
Who doesn't like to win? That's
jubilation on the sideline. But it's not over. Still it's over.
Now Paul in there. All this experience comes in handy now. These guys have either played in it or sat through it as coaches, trying to convey what potential harm might befall their defense.
If this were a tennis match, you'd say advantage New Jersey. But oftentimes advantages are not enough. You've got to close them out. And still a little more than a second remaining.
You know, got to be careful of back screens and lobs to the goal.
Atlanta 3 for 10 on 3-point attempts tonight. There's Mookie.
Now let's go over the matchup, Spence. Lang with Benjamin. Coleman matched up. And let's see. Wilkins with PJ. Coleman on Willis.
Elo will inbound the basketball.
They want to harass the pass.
Elo having trouble. Got it to Lang. He'll fire. Nets win it. It's all over. What a comeback. The Nets come from behind. And Kenny Anderson, little 10-foot jumper, was a big one indeed with 1.3 seconds remaining. Welcome home for the kid, and a great effort by Anderson, Coleman, and the entire Net Ball Club. They increased their winning streak now to 4. The final score in overtime, the Nets 113, the Atlanta Hawks 111. Bill and I will be back to wrap it up right after this. Well, tomorrow night, the Nets will try and crank it up again. The win streak is now up to 4. Excitement here in Atlanta tonight. A 113-111 victory over the Atlanta Hawks in overtime in a game that saw the Nets trailing 99-89 late in the fourth quarter. They go on a 14-4 run, tie the ball game, and then gain the lead. But Atlanta comes up with a game-tying basket by Kevin Willis, sends it into overtime, and in the extra session, a big basket by Benoit Benjamin that tied it at 109 after a net basket and after a Dominique Wilkins basket, and then it was the kid who came through.
I love you excited. Are you all right?
This was an exciting night. And Kenny Anderson comes up with the game winner with 1.3 seconds remaining.
What's great about this, Spencer, is the feeling amongst this team now. You can see that they believe that they can win. And obviously, when you're very successful, your point guard has to be, and who better than Kenny Anderson, who just keeps growing and getting better and better.
And Kenny Anderson, our Budweiser player of the game, 24 points, including the game winner. and 11 assists for Anderson. And here's the game winner coming up with 1.3 seconds remaining. Kenny hits 10 of 17 from the floor, 5 rebounds, 11 assists. He's our Budweiser player of the game, and we'll be back with the kid right after these messages. Back here at the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia, excitement indeed. Kenny Anderson comes home, gets the game-winning basket. The only thing he doesn't do, you gave him a second and 3/10 in which to come up with the tying hoop.
Yeah,
Don't you read the clock better than that?
I was reading the clock. I thought I would win it in enough time. I think I did. You know, they had to rush a shot. So I was just, you know, just hesitant just to take it on 8. But I wanted to go down a little, about 4, and I did.
How about Mookie's defense on you on that last?
He's a great defensive. He's one of the best in the league in the guard area. And, you know, when I got him on my side, I knew I had him beat a little bit. But he still was guarding my shot, so I had to fake. Once I faked, I got enough room to get my shot off.
How about the end of regulation now? Derek ended up with the basketball. Initially, you wanted it, and then Mookie shut you up.
Yeah, he denied me very hard. Derek was about to give it to me, but he couldn't get it to me. But, you know, he's a big man in the middle, and he finishes it off also. So it does.
Speaking of big men, how about the play of Benoit tonight? Is this the best ball game Benoit's had as a net?
I think, you know, this is probably one of the best games. You know, he played aggressive. He hit a lot of shots, and he played good defense. But I think the whole team, contribution-wise, everybody contributes.
If you saw the bench, and we had a highlight of the bench getting up, I mean, that was exciting. It brings you back to your Georgia Tech days, right? Everybody rooting for you?
Yeah, down here, you know. No, but it was funny because I was on the foul line when the ref gave me a foul that I think the fans didn't agree with. They started booing me. That's the first time I'm down here. They booing me. I'm like,
how many more, Ken?
I started laughing on the line, but it was funny. But it was, you know, it's always good to come back here. I went to school here and play in the Omni. Sometimes there's a lot of distractions, but I think I handled myself well this trip down.
Do you look at this stretch right now? You've won 4 in a row. Tomorrow night you have Golden State, then the West Coast trip. How important coming into this game with these 5?
Oh, it's very tough. I think my goal, and I hope the team goal, is to break that 500 mark before All-Star break. And if we could do that, it'd be a real accomplishment for this team. It's going to be tough, but like I told you, know, the coaching staff and all players, accept the challenge. Step up.
Kenny, in that timeout, the last one, where you're deciding what to play, are you feeling comfortable that you can recommend things as well? I know Chuck's a great listener.
He's a great listener. He's a player's coach, and he let me have my input. If I felt that I was having a good offensive game, hitting my shots, I felt like, you know, come to me on this play off the, you know, the hook special or so, or anything. But I felt I was in my rhythm here. I was shooting the ball very well.
This was a fun night for Kenny Anderson. They're usually fun nights for you, but this in particular, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm down here. So like I said, I usually have a lot of distractions when I come out and don't play as well as I did tonight. Just play, you know, average. But tonight I was above average, and I helped my team win to a great ball club. This is their third loss at home, so you got to give us a lot of credit.
The Nets had lost 16 of their last 17 here in Atlanta. Kenny Anderson, Derek Coleman, the entire Net Club contribute to a really hard-fought victory and a deserved one. Final Nets win at 113-111. Our thanks to Kenny Anderson. We'll take a break, and Bill and I will get right back. Way to go, Kenny.